Good Monday evening, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Brad Petovich here for Live Weather Impact. It is now March 2nd. Oof, I can't believe it's already March. And boy, is it going to really get warm around here in the next couple of days. But today was the anomaly. It was so nice on Sunday, 77 degrees. A lot of people out enjoying the beautiful weather today. Kind of a slap back to reality, though honestly it wasn't as cold as it normally could be in a wedge setup like we had today. But compared to 77, it definitely felt a lot cooler. Let's start with a view out there. Lake Norman, sun set just 10 minutes ago. Can you believe that? 10 minutes ago, 6:20 sunset now. It's getting later and later. We have nice visibility. The reason I'm showing you Lake Norman on our resort cams because we might have a little bit of rain reaching the ground there. When you look at the radar, you're like, Brad, it's raining everywhere. Well, nope, there's a lot of virga out there. And what is virga? It's rain that falls from the cloud but doesn't reach the surface. We zoom into these darker areas around the lake, Mountain Island Lake, Huntersville, Lowesville, probably moving into Uptown. I'm getting a few reports of some raindrops there, but I would say about 60% of this is not reaching the ground, but it is evaporating, right? So what does evaporative cooling do? It cools the air down. So this is actually going to drop our temperatures, and we're already starting to see that a little bit. We're getting some wintry weather up to our north. As we look at the temperatures, you see kind of that wedge. This is the classic cold air damming, high pressure over New England, pushing in this cold, dry air to surface. At the same time, that light rain is falling into this cloud layer, and it's evaporating. So temperatures are slowly cooling. We're actually in the upper 40s north, low 50s south, and I think eventually we'll see temperatures tumble into the low 40s tonight. Cold air damming, this is a very, very common thing in the Carolinas. And in March, it can be crazy cold and then crazy warm the next day. Sometimes outside the wedge, it's like 80 degrees. Inside of it, it's in the 40s. Moisture tries to go up and over it, though. This has been a pretty tame one, to be honest with you. I thought maybe we'd spend most of the day in the low 40s. We actually managed to sneak up into the low 50s at least. And the high today, very deceiving high, 62 degrees. You're probably like, when did that happen? At midnight last night before you went to bed. So that was the high today. The low tonight, though, we might have a new low before midnight because I think we'll be in the low 40s pretty soon with that light rain falling out there. And tomorrow, it's going to be weird. It actually will be nicer in the afternoon, but we probably won't have a high of 62. We'll probably be near 60-ish. But if we get enough sun, I do think we'll see some breaks in the cloud cover, and that could actually skyrocket our temperatures a little bit. I'm going to talk a lot about this with Tim, but because of that cloud cover we're expecting, this is all for naught. Not that we were going to have a great view of the lunar eclipse. If you look at the altitude above the horizon, this would have been incredibly hard to see with perfect conditions, meaning clear skies and unobstructed view of the western sky. And let's be honest, if you live east of the mountains, you don't have an unobstructed view of the western horizon, because even from Charlotte, the Blue Ridge Mountains would be in the way of this because you can see the mountains from Charlotte. So it would block our view as it got closer to the horizon. So nothing great to see there, partially because of that, but also because of this full cloud cover. I mean, there's not going to be a chance to see this. The sun doesn't try to break out until like 4 o'clock tomorrow. So I do think we'll see it break out in the afternoon. And Wednesday, boy, get ready. We're talking a heat wave, and I'm talking like a May, like late May, early June type of feel to the air. That's when the average high gets in the low 80s. That's what we're going to see for several days in a row. Now, if you're an allergy sufferer, you might want to look away or head to CVS right now, because this is not only really high pollen, it's the worst kind. Cedar, and I just know this from personal experience, oak is a really bad allergen for me. So when I see oak starting to show up in the top 3, and cedar, we already talked about how bad cedar is, and elm is probably right up there. So the elms, the oaks, the maples, the cedar, these are all not only the worst allergies, but they're also going to be really high levels of them. So you'll see this go to 0 to 60 pretty quickly this week. If you look around, you'll see the kind of like orangish red buds already in a lot of the trees. That means the trees are pollinating locally. But with southwest winds this week, we're going to see pollen come in from Georgia and South Carolina. Now, no rain in the forecast really outside of the little drizzle we have tonight. We need rain, and you're going to notice the drought showing up more and more. We're in a severe to moderate drought. I don't have to really, tell you that, but you probably didn't notice because everything's dormant. But now that things will be greening up, and your grass might be muddy, but when your grass starts using that moisture's gone. So you're going to see the surface layer dry up quickly. So don't be surprised if you start noticing it get really, really dry out there. And it's going to be 80 degrees that I mentioned for several days in a row. That will cause evaporation rates to go sky high. So record warmth, this is a heat dome over the southeast. It's going to bake us under some warm conditions. Now, if this heat dome had shifted just a little further east, we would get into the west side of this ridge where the storms are. There will be several days of severe weather in the middle of the country and a lot of rain there. Unfortunately, it's not over us. We need this to shift to the east to give us a better chance of rain. We're just going to see the hot, dry weather, and that's really going to be reflected in the jet stream level. I mean, look at this ridge. You'll see the oranges kind of show up over Florida and the southeast. This really is kind of your perfect setup for hot, dry weather in the Carolinas. And what's going to happen is that flow of moisture coming from the western Gulf goes into the middle of the country where there will be active storms and likely several days of rain. But this heat wave doesn't last forever. It's a long one. It's going to last into next week. But next Thursday, there are signs of a dip in the jet stream, which means we'll probably get some rain, maybe even some big-time thunderstorms, and yes, cooler temperatures. But between now and then, it is going to be crazy warm. So we'll give you a nice long look at our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. So I think we're 60 tomorrow with clouds, upper 70s by Wednesday. But once we get to 80 on Thursday, we'll be at or above 80, I think, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And a couple of those days, the record highs are within reach, like they're in the low 80s. So Friday and then Monday. With the increasing heat and humidity as we get into next week, maybe a couple pop-up storms possible. And the other thing to notice is the overnight lows. Lows in the 60s, all right? That's the kind of warmth that will really start to get the growing season going, because it's the overnight temperatures that really start to warm the soil up. If you ever want to know when the weeds and the grass and the garden's going to come in, look at those overnight lows. When they start to be consistently above 50, that's when you start to see things really get going. Charlotte FC first home match of the season. Saturday night should be amazing. Warm. It's usually freezing for that first match. It's actually going to be pretty mild. And this is also the weekend we set our clocks ahead 1 hour to daylight saving time. I'll show you the 10-day because I'm going to show you how long this warm spell is going to last. I mean, all the way through next Wednesday. We could even see some mid-80s before that front gets here next Thursday. So look at that. That's a stretch. We have 8 out of the 10 days could be around 80 or higher. That's unprecedented really in March. We hit 80 in March all the time, but not for, 8 days in a row or 7 days in a row. I mean, it's pretty crazy to see that. And the fact that we're seeing that kind of heat this early really should kickstart the growing season. As slow as it was initially, I think it's going to go gangbusters here over the next 7 to 10 days. Not a lot of rain in the forecast either. Sunday, Monday, pop-up storms. I think our best chance is going to be that next Thursday, which is the 12th. That's when the 7th. What is that? The March 13th. Sorry, wrong day there. Getting out there towards the end of that 10-day period. That's when we're going to see the chance for some probably pretty good storms there. That's when the pattern changes back to cool. So a lot to talk about today. We'll talk about the eclipse. It's also severe weather preparedness week here in North Carolina. We're going to talk about that. A lot to talk about a winter storm that happened way back when. Tim's going to show you a cool map from then. We'll be joined by Tim Buckley coming up in 2 minutes. So stick around and stay right there.